Are we live? Hello, hello, everybody. Looks like we are live. Let me just make some adjustments here. Dun, 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 so we can see all of my. There we go. Hello, hello, everyone. It is great to see you guys. Welcome to SoulPet. I'm Elaine, the Animal Reiki Lady, and this is the channel that is dedicated to all of you and all of us who are on their journey after pet loss and who may be on the current journey with the animals in our lives right now. So welcome, welcome, everybody. Tonight's topic is going to be an interesting one. It's going to be about how we have access to our intuition. And I want to be able to share with you how to access your intuition so that you can have a better connection with your animal companion. So let's just make sure that everybody can see and hear me okay, because it's just me, myself, and I, the low-tech woman in the high-tech world. So I'm just going to make sure that everybody can see and hear okay. If anybody wants to send up a little heart or just give me a thumbs up. And all right, perfect. Thank you so much. All right. Hello, hello, everybody. Let me just say hello real quick to all of our beautiful channel members. That's the way we start this. And then we're going to dive in right into our topic tonight. We're going to be talking about the pineal gland. We're going to be talking about how you can tap into your intuition, how that gets you connected to your animal companions on the other side of life, because we all have this ability. And I really, really want to be able to help you do this for yourselves. I have a lot packed in tonight. We're going to talk about the clairs, like clairvoyance. Most people are familiar with clairvoyance, clairsentience, but I've got 7. And that's just the tip of the iceberg if we really wanted to get into all of our extrasensory perception or extrasensory pet connection. And those are the things that we're going to talk about tonight. First, though, let's say hello. All right, so hello, Z. Okay, so Z's got a fundraiser. Z was really interested in the information about the pineal gland. So when you catch this on the replay, don't hesitate to ask questions. And that goes the same for everybody. If you're watching this live, you can ask questions in the chat. I'm going to try to hold off responding to those until the very end. But if you're catching this, whether it's a day from now or 10 years from now, and you've got a question, provided that I'm still here on this physical planet, I would love to answer that for you. So go ahead and feel free to ask your questions. So Kali, welcome, welcome. It is good to see you. Oh, Kali, you're starting us off with some great things already. Sherry, it's great to see you as well. And Kathy H. And Donna, great to see you. Let's see who else I've got. Caroline, nice to have you here. And Sharon, fantastic. It is great to see you guys. Let's go back up and see who else that we want to say hello to. I try to say hello, whether or not you're an actual a signed up member of the channel. I try to say hello to everybody because I want everyone to know that you are welcome here. I want everyone to know that this is a safe place and we have got an amazing community. You can follow along the comments and you'll see that this group of people who has been with me since the beginning when I first started this, we give out virtual hugs and virtual support and love and compassion to everyone, no matter where you happen to be on your journey with your animal companion. So hello to Julie. It is great to see you. I think I said hello to Donna. Jen, great to see you also. We have a new name that I recognize, and that is Cindy. Cindy, your name doesn't sound familiar to me, but that just could be if I forgot. You never know. Stacy, it's great to see you here. Anne, Lisa, fantastic. Sharon says, my daughter found out Friday night that her 13-year-old lab has a mass on his spleen and liver. If anyone knows Reiki, yeah, you know what? For anyone who knows Reiki, if you're willing to send healing, love, and energy to for Sharon's daughter's dog. Otherwise, even if you are not a Reiki practitioner, love is something that transcends time and space. You turn on your heart light, you send it out to the universe, and you allow it to go wherever it needs to go. So Sharon, we are with you, sweetheart. First time here. All right, Cindy, fantastic. It is nice to see you, and I hope you'll feel welcome to come back at Monday after Monday because we talk about all kinds of things. His name is Gunnar. All right, thank you so much. Look, see, you're already getting all the welcome, Cindy. Everybody embraces. Everyone embraces each other, and we love to welcome new people to the channel. Okay, so here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to go up and I am going to read a couple of comments from Kali. Kali is starting us off on a great note, but there's something that I have to do first, and then we're going to dive into all the intuition and pineal gland. I had a comment from someone who was also new to commenting on an old video, and it's for a dog named Clem. And Clem passed just this week. So if everybody would just give a giant virtual hug to Clem's human. Clem's human said that she wished that she had been holding Clem, that she was not holding Clem, and she wanted to hold him, and how she can't get past the fact that she was not there for him at the end of life. And I promised that I would address this right away. Some of you know I'm going to share briefly the story of Winston. Those of you who've been following me for some time know the story of Winston. Winston is my little King Charles Cavalier, a rescue who found me. He is the doggy who came to me in the middle of the woods at the top of the mountain where there was no way to get there except to be dropped by angels. And he was with me for 2.5 years. And we knew that he was a senior and that he had very significant health conditions. And I had already begun my formal practice of animal Reiki, and I had already begun my practice of working with dogs as they approach end of life, dogs and cats and other animals too, but primarily it seems to have been dogs as they are approaching end of life. And I thought that Winston and I had a deal, that he would allow me to be with him, to hold him in my arms as he was passing. And I went to work for a 2-hour shift, a 2-hour shift. And in that time, he passed. And I was I was hurt, and I didn't necessarily feel guilt, but there was definitely like, why did I need to do 2 freaking hours of work? Why did I need to go to a place just to work for 2 hours when I know that I just wanted to spend as much time possible with Winston? And then of course I was a little I was hurt and angry that he had chosen to pass without me. But meditation, and we're going to talk about the role of meditation. Don't worry, don't be freaked out by the M word. I'm not going to say that you have to go sit on a rock in a dark cave until you feel your connection to source. I'm going to teach you how to quiet your mind through meditation. But I did that in order to connect with Winston, and these are the 2 things that he shared with me. Sometimes animals, this was not Winston's case, but sometimes our animal companions want to spare us. They believe that they are doing us a beautiful, that they are being selfless as they cross without us being there to witness that crossing. That's the first thing. But for Winston, I know that Winston shared with me, because Winston crossed within a week of Lucy, Winston shared with me that he realized how peaceful and easy crossing would be. And so he just did. He did it on his own terms, in his own way. And that's even more than knowing that he realized he could pass in peace. I trusted that every single animal is on their own journey, and Winston's journey was his. And that I honored that. I honored his preferences, his choices. And so it released me as soon as I recognized that. It released me of all guilt. It released me of all pain. It released me of all hurt. So I hope for Clem's human that you can find some comfort in that too. All right, let's talk about this, guys. I'm going to scroll down real quick because I want to see some of the comments that Kali had. Kali says she has a tough time quieting her mind, which is one of the main things that most people struggle with when trying to connect with their animal companion on the other side. One of them is belief that it's really possible. Another is learning to trust intuition. And the third is having our monkey mind that never turns off, the constant scroll of things going through our mind, and how do we turn that off? Those are the things that I want to cover with you tonight. So this is not, it's going to sound a little woo-woo. It's going to sound a little hairy-fairy, but it isn't. It's more about education, about learning how we can actually do this, and then asking you to go ahead and trust me in this and go do a little bit more research for yourself also. And you'll learn that the things that I'm saying to you, I didn't just pull them out of thin air. They're things I would never share with you, something that I didn't already practice myself and find it to be not only useful, but find it to be a way of actually using my mind, my body, and my soul to make the kinds of connections that I want with animals here and on the other side of life. So let's just see if there are any. Are there any clairs that are more common than others? We're going to talk about the clairs, and it's not so much that they're common, it's about recognizing the one that is your strength, because there are some that are stronger for others, stronger for some than for others. And then let's see if there's any other questions Thank you, Kali. Don't forget, I know. One of these days, I'll be that YouTube person that says, "Don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you like this video, share it." Truly, if you find this video useful and you know anybody who would benefit from this information, please do share. Um, I'm just scrolling down real quick. All right, I think we're good. Um, Gross. Oh, Cheryl, I didn't get to say hello to Cheryl. And this old horse girl, you're here. You're here. Yes, I shared for Clem. And I hope that you can find peace through what I learned from my own Winston, but also tonight, how to connect with Clem, so that you too can get the kinds of messages that I receive from Winston. So fantastic. And I missed what you said. I only heard Clem's human. Okay. We might have to, I'll try to weave that back in um, through the rest of the video, but it was about Winston's story um, that he found, that he honoring him as an individual and his choice to pass in peace, whether or not I was with him, honoring his journey. But we're gonna continue on. Okay, we'll miss you, Cheryl. Yep, we'll miss you guys. So just feel free to comment on the replay. That would really help. It does help the algorithm, I have to say. We are a little bit beholden to the YouTube algorithm, even though I believe in the universal algorithm that brings us all together for a reason. We do want to think about that. So this is not about being psychic, even though I believe that we all are. It's just that the word psychic and telepathy and even clairvoyance, all of these things come with a lot of baggage. And I'm going to try to explain to you tonight how we can actually use these things, use all of our senses. Now, there is a woman who I recently brought to everyone's attention. Her name is Dr. Tara Swart. Love her, love her, love her, and her work. And she recently came out of the spiritual closet to say that she had made a connection with her deceased husband on the other side of life. And then she went on to explain, very similar to some of the things that I explain, except coming from a PhD, MD, neuroscientist, she really gave it some validation. We're going to talk about the pineal gland tonight. The pineal gland, it's like your internal biological clock. And I see the comments scrolling by. So just so you guys know, I'm going to have to go back and check them because I really want to stay focused going from this moment forward. And at the end, I'll go back and check all the questions. So the pineal gland is a small gland that is located in the very center of our brain. So if you were to put your fingers here on either side of your temples and put your finger at the front and back of your skull and just where they intersect, right, probably more towards the back, is your pineal gland. It is a very, very small gland. It's like the size of a grain of rice, but its function is incredible. And we are now understanding more and more how the function of this gland has become so crucial to our overall well-being, not just to these abilities to open up our intuition. So it's a tiny gland. It is sometimes called the third eye. You may hear it referred to as the third eye, although the third eye it's a much broader term. That's one of the ways that it is often referred to. And its role is, I call it like our cell phone, our connection to all of the information that exists in the quantum field. Now, we have talked about the quantum field many times. Again, not a metaphysical concept, but a scientific concept, that there is a field of energy that flows to, through, and around us, of which we are an active part, even if it's by default. We play an active role in how to access the information that is in this quantum field. In the metaphysical world, we call it the Akashic record, but you can call it any number of things, but the quantum field is what I like to stick to. So it is our connection to the quantum field. And the way that we currently live in our world causes it to not function to its best, to its highest functionality. There are some things that we do, and I kind of want to talk about those. And then we're going to do a little gentle breathing exercise to help awaken that. So there's a couple things. The first is the role of fluoride. Now, more and more, we are becoming socially and culturally aware, medically aware, that fluoride, we've been over-fluoridated. And while we need it for the health of our teeth, and mostly the health of our teeth, if there is too much fluoride, it causes some adverse reactions in the body. Part of them are to what is known as calcify the pineal gland. I'm going to qualify everything that I'm saying by saying that this is all information that I have learned. I'm sharing from my personal experience. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a veterinarian. I am not a neuroscientist, but I have tried to collect all of this information and I want to share it with you to the best of my ability. But then I also encourage you to go out and not take my word for it, to go do a little bit more understanding of your own. So the role of fluoride, we're over fluoridated. Ingesting fluoride is primarily the responsibility. So it's not so much your toothpaste. I'm not telling you to go out and stop all of your anti-cavity protection. I am saying that a lot of our water, especially in the US, has been fluoridated since the 70s, since the early 70s. So if you're in my generation, you have had fluoride in your body for a long, long time, and we've been drinking it in our water. Now almost many, if not all, public water supply, they're removing the fluoridation. I want to say that like the state of Florida is the most recent state across the statewide that says no more fluoride in the water. The other thing is our lack of exposure to sunlight, natural sunlight. And there are 2 times a day when sunlight is crucially important to us. And that is in the early morning. So the red sunlight, and I want you to think about our ancestors who did not live in cement blocks, who did not live in buildings. They lived outdoors, and their biological clock was based on sunlight. And it was the rise of the sun in the morning, the sunlight throughout the day, and the setting of the sun at night. The early morning red sunlight, that beautiful pink red glow in the early morning when many of us are still asleep, activates your pineal gland. And then the evening sun activates it in a different way. So that same pink and red orange glow as the sun sets does something different for your pituitary gland, your pineal gland. So it controls, to kind of, I'm just going to try to explain this in the easiest way possible. It controls the amounts of melatonin and serotonin that flow through your body. And serotonin causes the aware, melatonin causes the brain to go into the subconscious state and to fall asleep. And because we have such a lack of exposure to natural sunlight, we are missing that. We're missing those cues. And there's such a rise in insomnia and such a rise in the inability to dream and the inability to fall asleep, the inability to then feel rested when we wake up. It's all directly related to this. And don't worry, I have some solutions. Don't think, oh, it's done, I'm over. There are some solutions that I want to recommend to you. So first, I'm going to go through the things that are preventing the full activation of our pineal gland, and then some steps in how we can activate it. So we have fluoride. One of the ways is to drop the sunglasses. Again, I'm not telling you if you have some kind of health condition that requires that you wear sunglasses. I'm simply saying that sunglasses have become very fashionable, and it's a great marketing ploy to be always wearing shades, really cool shades like your Oakleys and your all the can't think of the other Ray-Bans, right? All the cool shades, your Panama Jacks. They're beautiful and they're fun and they're cool, but don't wear them all the time. We want to let natural sunlight in through our eyes. And I'll explain how that works with the pineal gland. Sleep. Oh, LED lights. When you go to sleep at night, there's something that I have done. I've become obsessive about it, a little OCD about any kind of light in my room when I go to sleep. So the smoke detector, I can't think about, oh, I don't have a TV in my bedroom, but if you do, the little light on your television, the little light on your computer, the light that comes out of your cell phones, anything that has an LED, a clock, I cover them over. If I don't have it flipped over, then I have a piece of black electrical tape over it. I do not want any kind of, to me, it's like I can see that pinpoint of red light like beaming right through my eye. And I don't want that, the obnoxious blue light or a green light. So if you can, go to sleep in the darkest room possible. If you can, allow it to be in a room where the sun will come up naturally and set naturally. That's one way to help your sleep and your pineal gland. Let's see what else. Toxins. We have toxins everywhere, and I think everyone is very, very aware of this now with the push for organic food. So we have glyphosate, we have the toxins that are in microplastics, we have the toxins that are on our lawns that are sprayed in the air that just come from natural air pollution. There's not always something that we can do about that, but there are ways that we can shift our nutrition to help with those toxins. And then the other thing is nutrition. I have begun to, my family gets sick of me now. I have begun to preach about the importance of natural food, the importance of setting aside all the food coloring, all of those. If you can't pronounce it on the label, don't eat it. All of the chemicals that are in processed food, and instead leaning more towards natural food as much as humanly possible. The natural food. So natural foods that preferably organic, but your fruits, your vegetables, that everything comes from a natural source. Nuts, and not all of the processed stuff that is primarily on all of the shelves in our grocery stores. If it comes in a box, um, salad dressings, all of those things have extra chemicals in them that we do not need. And there are plenty ways that we can prepare it for ourselves in a natural way. Okay, so those are the things. Let's see, what else? Oh, screen time. So we spend so much time looking at screens, whether it is a computer or a cell phone, a tablet, that artificial blue light also creates a block in our mind. So let me talk about the way that we can change some of this so that you can activate your pineal gland. And there are also some exercises that we can do. The first thing I mentioned was natural foods. If you can at all shift your nutrition, I would encourage it. Not only will you feel better physically, it's going to help you when you think about it. If your goal is to connect with your animal companion on the other side of life, then you're going to want to do these things. It's not going to be a burden to you. And I know for a fact that so I was a person, I'll tell you, I'm going to just be honest with you. Some things that I would do before I had my little spiritual awakening. And I think that my spiritual awakening, my focus on nutrition helped. I would sit in bed at night. I'm just going to be perfectly honest. And I would eat out of the tub of cookie dough. And, like they sell them in cookie dough and it would go in your freezer, and I could just take a spoon and I could just shovel that cookie dough. When I think about it now, I can't even imagine. But as soon as I shifted my diet away from the fake, phony food and started eating nutritionally healthy food, not only did my body feel good, but my mind felt good. And when one of the questions that somebody asked, I don't think it was Lauren, Magnificent Sales, who we haven't seen on here in a while, but sent me a private sent a little comment question. How do you know if your pineal gland is activated? What does that feel like? What does it feel like? It feels like clarity. It feels like if you've ever experienced foggy brain, like it feels like a mist has cleared and it just feels clear, and it feels calm, and it feels open. And I'm not quite sure how else to describe that, but that sense of awareness and being aware and focused, that's what it feels like to have my pineal gland activated. So what do we do? Okay, so the first thing is try to get organic food, try to shift your nutrition, try to get sunlight into your eyes as much as possible. If you can get outside, I know it's going to take a little bit of effort to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning as the sun is rising, but allow for 5 to 10 minutes that natural light to flow into your eyes. It's going to make a world of difference for you. And if you can't do that, then go out in the evening as the sun is setting outside, letting the natural light flow through your eyes. I take out my contact lenses or remove your glasses. Allow that sun to flow into your eyes, and you're going to feel the shift in your brain. Your eyes are like a portal to your, like the optic nerve flows back into your brain. You are doing yourself a huge service if you allow morning sun and evening sun into your eyes. If you can do both, that's fantastic. So why does that work? Because your pineal gland activates melatonin and serotonin. And melatonin is the one that helps us fall asleep, and serotonin is the one that allows us to be focused and aware. And when our pineal gland is not working at its best, primarily the melatonin And melatonin is actually produced in the morning. So that morning sun is so critical because that's when it produces the melatonin that it kicks in at the right time, which is as you're falling asleep. But it's the morning sun that really activates that activates the production of melatonin. So when you have a healthy pineal gland, you will have the healthy production of melatonin and serotonin, and you'll have a great sleep cycle. Your sleep cycle will allow you to enter a deeper dream state. So for those of you who have been asking, why can't I dream about my animal companion? When am I going to get that dream? Part of it has to do with your activating your pineal gland. So that is what we want to do. So right now, I'm going to check the comments real quick to see if anybody has any questions about the pineal gland, and then I'm going to talk about meditation, sound work, and breath work. So such a great explanation. Oh, all right. So Lisa, thank you that you've been studying that. Is there a way to cleanse the pineal gland? And the answer to that is yes. And really, that's what we're doing when we. How deep do I want to go with this? When we do these practices, when we reduce the fluoride, when we allow the natural sunlight into our eyes, when we get a better sleep cycle, when we start eating nutrition that removes the toxins from our body. So one of the things that I have discovered that removes toxins from the body, that will subsequently help your pineal gland is, here you go, eating raw broccoli. I know that it sounds, it just sounds so easy, but it is. Raw broccoli. Check out, there's a guy named Thomas DeLauer, who he does great things for nutrition because I like to be nutritionally healthy to anyway, but eating raw broccoli, and I don't know the name of the chemical that it releases, but the act of chewing raw broccoli releases something in your body that flushes the toxins when you pee. So there's that. I have also recently read, and I don't have any of the scientific backing for this. I have also recently read that donating blood on a regular basis also flushes your body of toxins. So some people that's not their gig, and I totally get it. But there are some ways that you can cleanse. When you cleanse your body, you cleanse the pineal gland. Someone also asked, I also think that this might have been Lauren, Magnificent Sales, if there are any herbs or teas that you can drink. And there are. I know that green tea is a great thing for mental clarity and mental focus, which includes all parts of your brain. And also there are some spiritual herbs. Again, I'm not an herbalist, and you may want to look up an herbalist who is more versed in this than I, but mugwort and lavender are two that I'm very well aware of. So mugwort, you can either drink it as a tea. I don't have the recipe for you. You can either drink mugwort as a tea. You can leave it in a sachet and put it under your pillow. I'm going to share. This is hilarious, guys. I laugh about it now, but I don't even laugh about it. How these things work is beyond my wildest dreams. The way that the universe organizes things, the synchronicities. The week before Lucy passed, it was the weekend before Lucy passed. I was traveling. Lucy's my black lab. She's the inspiration for this channel. I was traveling. Lucy's 13, and I had mugwort in a little envelope. It was a sachet of mugwort that someone had sent to me. A friend of mine, Melissa, had sent to me, and it was in this beautiful little sachet, and I had tucked it under my pillow. It was it was like in tea form because she had meant it for me to drink as a tea, and I didn't know if I could do it, so I tucked it under my pillow. When I got home, I discovered that Lucy had eaten the entire packet. It was like the packet itself was completely chewed up. You could see that it was chewed up, and all of the mugwort was gone. The night that Lucy passed, she came to me in a dream. The dream was so vivid that I had her tattooed on my arm, and I swear to this day that the universe orchestrated it so that she found that mugwort under my pillow, ate it, so that when she passed, she could come through to me in the dream. I know, and I don't have any proof, but I just know with my inner intuition that that mugwort helped her get through to me from the other side of life. Anywho, I digress. Other questions, let's see. Yep, we're gonna get to humming. We are gonna get to humming right now. So, what are some things that you can do to help you activate your pineal gland? That's what you really want to do. You want to activate your pineal gland. And don't worry, you cannot make it so calcified that you will never be able to reopen it again, or you'll never be able to connect with your animal companion. It doesn't work that way. You can absolutely cleanse it. And not just cleanse it, activate it is the word that I like to use. Meditation is one way. My personal meditation is to go into a dark room. If I don't have a dark room, then I put a sleep mask on. I will put earplugs in or earbuds in, and I will go into a dark place. It is called darkness therapy. There's like real darkness therapy where you can spend days in the darkness. I don't know that I would go to that extreme, but I like to make my room as dark as possible. Sometimes I will listen to music. Sometimes I will listen to solfeggio frequencies. I can post links to different meditations that I listen to that help to get me into a place where it helps me just lose track of everything. It helps me. That's essentially instead of turning your mind off, it's just losing track of all of those things because I go into a place that is dark and quiet. And if thoughts creep in, if you're trying to meditate and thoughts creep in, let them creep in. I like to think about a little conveyor belt, and the thought creeps in. I'm like, oh yeah, there you are. Good, off you go. Sometimes I collect them in a bag. I've shared that with you before too. The thoughts come in. I'm like, fine, come on in. Here you are. You're welcome. This is my mind. This is what I think about. Pop into this bag, and then I pull a drawstring closed on a bag. Some people like to send their thoughts off on a cloud. They'll be back again. And if they don't come back again, so what? But that's kind of the meditation. That's what trips people up sometimes. So Kali had mentioned, I can't turn my mind off. So sometimes meditation can be hard. So I have another suggestion for you, one or two. The other is breath work. Breath work, you can look up also videos on this. Breath work is about focused breathing. I have shared with you guys on many different live streams how to breathe. And you can do a box breathing, which is where you breathe in for a count of 4, you hold it for a count of 4, you exhale for a count of 4, and you hold it exhaled, like you don't breathe in again for a count of 4. And then there's also the heart-brain coherence breathing, and that is where you exhale for longer than you inhale. So if you inhale for a count of 4 and you exhale for a count of 6, that helps your heart and your brain harmonize. What's the point of counting to 4 or counting to 6? It gives your brain a job. It allows your brain to focus something on something other than random thoughts. So breath work is a beautiful way. There are plenty of people on YouTube who do breathing meditations or who do guided breath work. Feel free to try any of them at all. I would recommend that you try until you find one that resonates with you. Or you can simply do it yourself, and that's by doing something called box breath or the heart-brain coherence breathing. The other one, this is an easy one. It's sound. It is using sound. And somebody mentioned humming. It is humming. Now, there are plenty of practitioners. You can find one in your local area. Just look up a sound healer. I like to go right here in where I am outside of Milwaukee. I go to Sienna Moon, and Sienna Moon is a crystal shop that also does classes where I teach classes, and I love to go to classes too. And not just classes, I love to go to their sessions. So a sound bowl session where we sit in a quiet room with just soft lighting and someone plays sound bowls, and the sound bowls resonate at such a frequency that activates your pineal gland. It quiets your mind. It helps you access the frequency of the universe. It helps you really get in tune with yourself. It depends on the sound, on the type of sound that you're doing. You can use it to release anything that you might be holding. You can use it to activate. There's all different ways, but the easiest way is with humming. You don't need to go to a class. You don't need a practitioner. You just need yourself and your mouth and your air, and you hum. So it goes like this. Mm. A simple hum activates your pineal gland. It causes a vibration that actually travels throughout your body, but and I'm not sure if anybody could hear that. It depends on the sound on the quality of the microphone that you have. So I don't know if you could hear me humming, but just the the HM sound or just the M sound. The other type of hum that activates your pineal gland is the sound of the letter N. So it is your tongue pressed against the roof of your mouth, and you do it on the exhale. So humming is done on the exhale, like this. Mm. That sound creates a vibration through the roof of your mouth up into your brain, activates your pineal gland. I'm checking the comments now to see if you guys could hear that. Incorporating numerology. There are so many ways. Reading that yoga also helps to open it. There are so many ways. Go to your little buddy, you know, that guy named Chat GPT. Go to Chat GPT and you can they will give they'll you what are yoga practices that can open my pineal gland? Is there tai chi that can open my pineal gland? Is there humming? Is there sound? There are so many ways. I'm kind of like giving you the most direct path that I know to open the pineal gland, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's so much of it has to do with nutrition. Nutrition, and sunlight, our connection to nature, all of these things will help open your pineal gland. Okay, good. Thank you. So sound work and humming will absolutely do it. And then there's one other thing that you can do. I've done this exercise for you guys before, but staring with your eyes closed, staring at the center of your forehead. It You'll feel like a pinch is the only way to describe it. You'll feel a pinch in the center of your brain when you stare right here with your eyes crossed. It doesn't feel natural, and that is activating your pineal gland. Kegels, for all of you ladies who have ever done pelvic floor exercises, which we should all be doing anyway, regardless of gender. Pelvic floor exercises strengthen your core, and it also results in spinal fluid. So when you contract all the muscles between your legs, and I'm not going to go through that whole exercise right now, but you contract all the muscles between your legs as if you were cutting off the flow of urine, if you were urinating, and that action signals your spinal fluid to travel up through your spine. You don't have to feel it. You don't have to know what that is. Just know that when you make that contraction, that's what happens. And the spinal fluid travels up through your brain and it pings the pineal gland. So that's another way of activating your pineal gland. So my biggest way, get yourself out in the sunshine. Start to take control of your nutrition with natural foods and getting rid of some of that ultra processed stuff that we fill our body with. Do exercises like sound, like humming, and or do an exercise like either crossing your eyes or contracting your pelvic floor muscles. I like to do all three of those at once. So I contract my pelvic floor at the same time that I look at my center of my forehead and then hum. So if I were to just do all three of those at one time, it's like a super activation of your pineal gland. Okay, I want to keep going here. So let me just check my time. All right, so we are really, really running out of time fast, and I want to talk about the clairs. And I want to talk about more than the clairs. I will try to get through as much of this as I can tonight. If I miss anything, or if I don't get the time for Q&A, put your questions and answers in. I put the little, I activated the feature on that allows me to go back and look at all of the questions and answers on our live that were part of the live stream. You don't know how to cross your eyes. Oh, Kathy, I don't think I said hello to you. You don't. Wow, that was a workout. Yeah, right. To do all of them at once takes a lot of practice. So practice it. It's okay. Practice it. Do it once every morning. Do it once before you fall asleep. But I like to do it when I'm laying down. It seems to be easier when I'm laying down. But if you don't know how to cross your eyes, then don't do that. It's totally okay. There's other things that you can do that will activate your pineal gland. For me, it seems to work. I want to introduce the clairs. And the clairs are the clear senses. When we are taught our five senses, and our five senses that we are traditionally taught are taste and smell and touch and sight and hearing. There are so many more, and you could number them however you choose to. Dr. Swart, in her most recent book, The Signs, suggests that there are 34. I'm just going to kind of give you an example of what I mean, that we have so many more senses than just our five. And the clairs simply mean that we are activating our senses to their highest potential, being very aware of all of our senses and the role that they play in our everyday life and how to use them to connect with our animal companions on the other side. I know that's where we really want to focus. So I'm just going to give you some ideas of what I mean. So we have the five that we are normally used to, but then I want you to think about temperature. So when we experience hot or cold, that's a sense. You may say that falls under the sense of touch, but I'm saying, no, I'm not thinking about just touching something hot or something cold. My body, when it feels hot or cold, is a signal to me. My body, when it shivers, is a signal to me. My body, when it sweats, is a signal to me. Our sense of time, so our sense of being, our remembering the past, our remembering the future, or our looking into the future. I like to use the term remembering the future. Our sense of where we are in the day. Is it the morning, the midday? Is it the middle of the night? Our sense of time is a sense. Our sense of balance, where we are spatially in any particular point in time. Vertigo, dizziness, those are senses beyond what we normally consider to be our senses. Then think about our internal senses. Have you ever said to yourself, my brain hurts? Right? You know what it feels like to have foggy brain. You know what it feels like to have overthought something. That is a sense. And then internally with our organs, you know if your heart is feeling a little bit out of whack. If your tummy feels funny, you know when you have to use the facilities, right? You have to release something from your body. We know, so there are sexual senses. There are pain sensors. All of those things are senses beyond the traditional five. So when we are very aware of those, we can become more aware of the signals, signs, and messages that we're receiving from the other side of life. We're going to continue to talk about signs from the other side, messages from the other side, that our animal companions will always be trying to get through to us because they are learning as much as we are. They're learning how to get through just as much as we are learning how to receive. But I would like you to start to become hyper aware of your senses. So, if you were to close your eyes, and don't do this if you're someplace where you can right now, if you were to close your eyes, what are the sounds that you hear? As soon as I do that, I hear my silly computer fan going like that makes me crazy. I hear a hum coming from a light that I have over here. I can I can feel humidity in the air, like there is a dense humidity in the air right now. What is that for you? What do you see? What do you see with your eyes closed? You can do that. What do you see behind your eyelids? What is it? What are all the things going on around you? Can you feel the floor underneath you? Is it cold? Is it hot? Is it a rug? Is it wood? What does the chair feel like that you're sitting in? What are the sounds coming through to you? Everything. I want you to be hyper aware of that. And that activates your other senses. You can really, really tune in to receiving messages. If you're going through your day on default mode, you never take time to look at the clouds to even see if there's a visual coming from your animal companions from a cloud. Are you ignoring the songs that are on the radio? So we really, really want to get in touch with our body and in touch with all of our senses. Practice something every single day. Pick a sense and just focus on that. Today, I'm going to remember everything I see. I'm going to try to see everything because our brain filters out for so much for us, so that we can make sense of our normal, of our everyday life. But try to pick a sense every single day and really focus on every last little thing you see, on the different shades of green as you walk down the street, on the everything you can imagine. So let me go into what the clairs are. I'm going to go through 7 clairs, and I'll add this right now. This is not a pitch, I promise you, because this particular course always sells out, so I don't have to really pitch it anywhere. But the whole month of October, I thought it would be fun. Every Thursday night, I think there's 5 Thursdays in October, if I think that I did that right. Um, I'm doing the Animal Mystic Masterclass, and that's where we're really gonna go deep into this stuff. We are gonna go into crystals, and we're gonna go into oracle cards, and we're gonna go into intuition, and we're gonna go into all the clairs. We're gonna go into mediumship, everything that you wanna cover. There's a topic a week for 5 weeks, because I figured, why not? It's Halloween, it's October, and we should have some fun with it. So if you really wanna get into this deep, I'll post a link for that if anybody's interested. It just came to me that I should say that. Um, let's talk about the clairs. So some of them you may be familiar with. Clairvoyance. It's something that a word that most people are familiar with. It simply means clear sight. Clear sight. So it doesn't mean seeing into the future. It can mean that, but it's about using your sense of sight to its highest ability. Then we have clairaudience. Clairaudience is hearing. Did you ever hear, like, I don't know, you swear you heard a snippet of a conversation? That's using your sense of hearing to its best. Clairaudience, listening for your pet's name to be said, being aware of your sense of hearing, listening to that tone. If you've ever heard that ringing in your ears, that's a sign that you're receiving a message from the other side. Clairaudience, clairsentience is clear feeling. Claircognizance, clear knowing. Clairaudience, clear smelling. Clairgustance, clear taste. And clairtangency is clear touch, also known as psychometry. I'm going to see if I have anything that I could use for touch. I meant to grab Winston's collar, and I don't have it here, but that's okay. So I'm going to talk about these for a little bit, because it could be smelling. So let's go with clairsentience is what I call it. Clairaudience is the name of it. Uh-oh, I'm getting some comments here. Collie. Oh my goodness. I don't even know how to. I don't even know how to respond to that. These gift memberships. That's the first time I've ever seen such a thing. There's someone who I follow online who always says, "How does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this?" I can't even imagine a community of people better than this community of people. Kali, you're amazing, for being a member of the channel and all these. She just gifted a whole bunch of memberships. Makes me want to cry. Okay, let's get back to the topic at hand. It flashed up green. I'm sorry. This giant thing popped up on my screen. All right, so let's talk about this. The clairs. How do you use them? I was talking about clairaudience, which I call it clairsentience. It's one of my strongest clairs. Sherry, you had the question about, are some more common than others? I would say there's not more common, but there is something that each of us has a better sense of than something else. So I know for the longest time that I have clairaudience, I can smell a scent that isn't present. It started with my grandmother when she passed, and the smell of electrical burning. Whenever my grandmother is reaching out to me, I get this smell of electrical burning. If you've ever smelled your pet's scent, I know there's someone here who knows the scent of their dog's paws and smells it. As soon as they smell it, they know that they're receiving a sign from their animal companion. If you've heard inexplicably your cat's meow or your dog's bark or a purr or the clicking of nails on the floor when there isn't something like that, that is using your clairs. We all have them. We just ignore them. We're not aware. We spend our time so much in a stressed out state that we're not aware of how much extrasensory perception we have. And that's all ESP is. ESP isn't some psychic thing that only a few gifted people have, that only the Tyler Henrys of the world have, that only the Long Island mediums have. We all have this. We're just not tapped into it. So that's why I'm trying to share with the pineal gland and trusting our intuition. And I can already tell that I'm going to have to carry this on to next week, just to think about trusting the intuition. But so smelling your pet's scent, hearing their bark, feeling them jump on the bed, getting a sense of emotion in your heart that is so strong. It is one that I love this one. I will be thinking about Lucy or Jack or Winston, and all of a sudden, it's like my heart swells. I just get such an amazing feeling. Overwhelming love is essentially what it feels like. Overwhelming love. I'll have to look up what that clair is, like emotional, and emotional. I know that clairsentience is when you get a feeling like a premonition about something, but I think it goes deeper than that when it comes to our love. So I would love to know if you guys want to put this in the comments, which 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 clairs you think you might be drawn to the most. So if you were to, do you get a sense of knowing? Do you get a sense of clear hearing? Sometimes you do hear that little snippet in the back of your mind, or you get just a sense of knowing. There are some people who have stronger clairs than others. And I'm not 100% sure where I was particularly gonna go with that, except that I would like to be able for you to develop your clairs. So how do you realize, how do you come to figure that out? It's play. It's just a game. We take this all so seriously when it can be just a game, and you can ask your animal companion to play along. So I would love to play this game with, let's just say that I'm gonna play it with Jack. And so I would say to my beautiful Jack, all right, today let's play with clairaudience. Today, I would like to all the smells that you can imagine. I would love you to give me like the smell of roses, or I would love to smell the smell of coffee, the smell of flowers, whatever that may be. You can play the game, and every single day you pick something and you just say, Phoebe, can we play today? Phoebe, can you show me some things in the clouds today? And then you be aware. We spend most of our days unaware. We spend most of our days in default mode. And I'm telling you, I practice this. And I still sometimes at the end of a day will go, how did I make it through the day today? Like, I feel like I was on autopilot when I should have been very consciously aware. The more aware you allow yourself to be, and when you catch yourself in default mode, when you catch yourself and you go, oh, wait, I just don't even know where the past 2 hours went. That's okay. You've caught yourself and now you are aware. The more time you spend aware, the more your clairs will become evident to you, and the more you'll be able to connect with your animal companion on the other side. Clairtangents is another thing. We've talked about this when I brought out Jack's fur. Clairtangents is where you take something of your animal companions, you touch it, and through the sense of touch, you receive a message from your animal companion. And that message may come through as a feeling or a thought or just a connection. You do that by touching the particular object. I wanted to talk about real quick if there were any crystals that will awaken your sense of intuition or you're using your clairs. And there's a couple. Amethyst is one. Amethyst is the pretty purple. I'm just going to hold this up to the camera here. So this is it's in the shape of a moon, and it looks more blue than purple, but it's purple amethyst. You might have also seen it in like a rough form like this. My camera really makes it look blue. But amethyst is another way. And then clear quartz. So I'm wearing clear quartz right now. So this is, let's see if I can help you see that. So that's kind of clear quartz right here. I also have a chunk of it right here. Clear quartz is another crystal that just helps awaken your intuition. And you can wear them like I do on a necklace. Some people put them in their clothes. Other people tuck them under their pillow. I just surround myself with the stuff. That's the other way. That's the other thing that I recommend. When you want to access your intuition, open your pineal gland, use all your clairs, really tap into your abilities. I just surround myself with everything. I have plants in my house. I have pretty little dishes in my house. I have crystals in my house. I keep little things of my animal companions around me. I just surround myself with everything. Keep it in your car, keep it in the office, keep it on your desk, wherever. It doesn't matter. I surround myself with pictures of animals because that's what I want in my life. I want this to be my life. When people say, what is your greatest, if you could have anything you want, would it be $1 million? Well, Yeah, I would love $1,000,000. Sure. I really would. But more than anything, I want to be able to talk to animals. I want to be able to have conversations with them. I want to be able to be a really good partner for them. I want to be able to share their messages for others. I want more than anything in the whole wide world. I want to be able to talk to animals both here and on the other side. And when I make that my intention, and when I surround myself with all these things, when I talk about these things, when you and I, when everybody here shares with me and I get to share with you, that dream comes true. And I want that dream to come true for you too. I know how much you want to be able to connect with your animal companion. And so that's why I do this. And sometimes these words come out of my mouth and I have no idea where they came from. So that's a beautiful channeled message from every last one of your animal companions. All right, I am going to we're going to move on from the clairs. I wanted to touch on them briefly. We go into them deep dive in the Animal Mystic Masterclass, and I like to call it that too. What a fun name, the Animal Mystic Masterclass. We just get together, and with animals as our teachers and guides, we learn how to activate our psychic abilities. All of them, not just intuition. We go way deeper than that. But ESP is just a conscious awareness of all of your senses and how to use them to their greatest ability. And then you can, and that's your clairs. They are, it's whether they're physical, whether they're subtle, you become so active and you learn to trust. You learn to trust what you receive. You learn to trust your intuition. You learn that when you get that gut feeling, which is a sense, a gut feeling is one of your senses. When you get the gut feeling, you learn to trust it. And you guys know what I do. I write it all down. I write it all down because that is how I learned to trust. Every time I saw an angel number, every time I thought I got a message from an animal companion, everything, I write it all down because then I go back and then I trust it. I just trust it. This was the last little comment I wanted to say about that. And then we're going to do a little practice as I'm so running out of time. It's not about being special. It's about being present. It's about being present and not living your life on default, but living your life aware. And I do really want to do this practice, this little guided exercise. Let's do this. We're going to do this real quick, but then I want to look at questions because we've been at this for an hour now. It's called a multi-sensory practice. It's super easy, super quick. I love to give you guys quick wins because when you do this, you'll really, you're suddenly aware of how connected you really are. Okay, this is going to help you identify your strongest clair. All right. This question came up from Sherry. How do we? She wanted to know if there were some that are stronger than others, and this is to help you identify your strongest clair. So if you're ready, and then I'll get to the questions. If you're in a place where you can, I just want you to breathe with me. And if you have to come back to this, come back to it. But I want you to take in a really nice deep breath. And it's called breathing into your heart. So you can touch your heart space if you want to. After a while, you don't need to touch it, but I like to touch my heart space. And I like to visualize that it's my heart touching my fingertips, not my fingertips touching my heart. So I take a nice deep breath in, and I'm feeling like instead of the air filling my lungs, I feel like it's filling my heart. So just breathe into your heart just like that. And I like to close my eyes when I do it. And I want you to call to mind your animal companion. Just think about your beautiful animal companion. Breathe in, think about them, and notice the very first sense that lights up. Like, what lights up for you right now? Is it your heart that lights up? Is it the picture of them in your mind that lights up? Did you suddenly hear their little bark? What was it that lit up for you first? And that is your clair that you want to focus on the most. That's the clair that lights up for you most. Now, so did you get a sense of them, like a scent of them? Like I could feel just now as I was thinking of Jack, I could feel my nose almost fill with like, if you've got dogs, you know what that dog smell is, right? They have their dander, their fur creates such a aroma. That's the first thing that I smelled. So what is that for you? That is your sense. Now, if you weren't able to follow along just then, it's okay. You go back. It's super, super easy. You breathe into your heart. You focus on a memory of your animal companion, or you just think about their name. And the very first thing, the very first sensation that you receive is your strongest clair. And then you can journal about it afterwards. Pick up your pen, pick up your paper, and write about it. Write about what you receive. All right, so what did we do tonight? We talked about the pineal gland, our senses, the clairs, ESP, how to try and do this every single day. And I know there was a lot, it was a whole lot. And I will be happy to readdress any of the questions that as we go through them. So, awakening your intuition, it's not just for psychics, it is for all of us. It is for anyone who wants to go deeper, anyone who wants a deeper relationship with their animal companion, anyone who recognizes that the love story isn't over, it wasn't the end. This is the beginning of a whole new chapter for you. This is the beginning of a whole new way to stay connected, because they want us to know that there's nothing to be afraid of. They want us to know that they're still with us. They want us to know that it's more than a metaphor, that they are right by our sides. And I know for a fact. Okay, I have no way to prove it. I just have no way to prove it. I just go with my clairsentience, my claircognizance. I just know that they are on the other side of life, playing with this as much as we are, and they are learning just as much as we are. And when the two of us, from those on the other side and those of us here, come together and really learn how to connect with each other, it's going to wake up so much more for everybody. So, yeah, I would love for you guys to continue to share your comments. If you're catching this on the replay, go ahead and post your questions. I will address them in a future live stream. If you really want to go deep, it's the Animal Mystic Masterclass. I'll post the link. I'll even send it out in a little newsletter thing. But for now, I'm not going to say goodbye just yet. I'm going to check the questions. Oh yeah, so go. Julie Finelli, if you go back and check Julie's comments, she's my crystal goddess. She knows all about the crystals. Libyan desert glass. Thank you. Moldavite. Awesome. Fantastic. Surrounding yourself with everything you love. Yeah, moonstone, definitely. I have got a moonstone floating around here somewhere, but I didn't want to make this a crystal class. When we in the Animal Mystic Masterclass, we dedicate one whole thing to crystals. I've got all the crystals and all that. We do crystals and feathers. Feather magic, if you've never experienced it, freaking amazing. The things that you can get from feathers. Let's see. You could hear Phoebe's excited bark. That is fantastic. Gary always smelled like flowers. Yay. Oh, there we go with labradorite. Yes, labradorite is another one. Let's see. You love to stare into labradorite. All right. So no Pat tonight. Oh, I forgot to mention. Pat, hey, shout out to you, my friend. Pat is doing some volunteering on Monday nights. So that's why I'm going to try to remember, if I can, every Monday to post a little post in the community section. I think it's called posts now, that if anybody wants to leave questions. So Pat, yep, we miss you. We love you. I want to scroll back up here to see what this thing was from Kali. You hear chickens. Oh, Kathy, that's fantastic. Dana, I don't think I said hello. Dana, it's good to see you. Let's see. So 13-month anniversary. 5 memberships. Okay, so a membership was given to Sharon, Rebecca, Deborah, Inkling. I can't read the other name. Cassie. That's just amazing. That I can't thank you. I thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. I can't thank you enough. My gratitude is from the bottom of my heart, and for everybody in this community. So I guess we're going to wrap it up here. I don't see any other questions. If I do see any questions that I missed, I will go back and answer them. Thank you for joining me this evening. And until next week, may animals light your way. I love you guys so much. Have a beautiful night. Take care, everybody. All right. Adios. Let's see if I can make this end.